Hello friends, let's find the interval where the function f of x equals 3x squared minus 12x is increasing and decreasing. So recall that a function is increasing on an interval if for each x in that interval f prime of x is greater than 0. For each x in that interval, so I'm going to put increasing, and if for each x in that interval, right, f prime of x is less than 0, then the function f of x is decreasing on that interval. So this is just something um, we need to note, right, to be able to solve this problem. Now let's solve this problem. I'm just going to put this by the side, just this by the side. This is just a note. Okay, so if f prime of x is greater than 0 for each x in that interval, the function is increasing. So that means we need to find the first derivative. So we need to find the first derivative of the function. So let me write solution. So our function f of x equals 3x squared. So the derivative of 3x is going to be 6x. So you just multiply 3 times 2. So f prime of x, so you have 3 times 2, which is 6. Then subtract 1 from the power, which is 2. So you have, 2 minus 1, which is 1. And then the derivative of negative negative 12x is just going to be negative 12. Negative 12. Okay, so we found the derivative. The next thing we want to do is that we want to equate this to 0 to solve for x. So we equate this to 0, that is 6x minus 12 equals 0. And from here we can solve for x. You solve for x, you get that x is going to be equal to 12. So that's 12 divided by 6. That's going to be equal to 2. Okay, so now next thing I want to do is that um, x equals to divide the number line into two parts, right? So if I have the number line, let me draw a number line, and I have 2 here, right? So it divides the number line into two parts, right? We have the parts to the right of 2 and the parts to the left of 2. And then I can just say this part here, the interval here is 2 to infinity, and for this part here to the left, the interval is negative infinity to 2. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to pick a number in each of these intervals, right? And I'm going to plug it into the first derivative to check if it's less than 0 or greater than 0. So I'm going to start from the left. So I'm going to pick a number here to the left. To the left of 2, I can pick 0, right? I can pick 0. 0 is to the left of 2. So 0 is in this interval. 0 is here. I can pick 0. So pick equals 0. So I'm going to plug it into the first derivative. Recall that my the first derivative, um, f prime of x is 6x minus 12. So if I plug in 0 there, f prime of 0, I'm going to get 6, 0 minus 12. And this is just negative 12. Negative 12 is less than 0. And from what I wrote up here, if from what I wrote up here, if it's less than 0 in that interval, then it's decreasing. So on this interval, to the left of 2, the function is decreasing. Drawing a an arrow with, so let me use a blue color, is decreasing. Okay, so now it's decreasing, right? It's decreasing, it's coming, it's falling from left to right, it's decreasing. Okay, so now let's do for the right, the towards the right of 2. So I'm going to pick a number between 2, in that interval between 2 and infinity. So I'm going to pick a number in this interval. So I'm going to pick x equals 3. So my f prime of x is 6x minus 12, right? So I'm just going to plug in x equals 3 into the first derivative. So this is going to be 6 times 3 minus 12. These are 18 minus 12 is 6. 6 is greater than 0. So from what I have here, if my f prime of x is greater than 0 on that interval, from what I have up here, then the function is increasing. So what I have here is 6 is greater than 0. So on this interval, on this interval, the function is increasing. On this interval, the function is increasing because I picked a number on that interval and I plugged it into the first derivative and I got something that is greater than 0. So let me just summarize. So we've actually gotten our answer because we want to find the intervals where the function is increasing and decreasing. So let me just summarize the answer. Um, f of x, which is equal to 3x squared minus 12x, is increasing on the interval 2 comma infinity and decreasing on the interval negative infinity to 2. And that's it. I hope this helps. Thank you.